You'd be surprised to hear, maybe not, but in Australia, kangaroo as well is a typical dish. If you want
Ain't no way they eat that thing, boy, nah. What's up, my people? Welcome back to the channel. I told you guys, man, this channel is just for the Australians. So we're gonna be checking out a video titled 15 Things to Know About Australians before moving to Australia. So this is actually about the Australians and not just about Australia. So whew, let's find out what this video is about. Let's get right into this video. I hope to one day visit Australia. You know, it's really far from where I am because I'm now living in Europe, in Finland to be specific. And Finland, compared to the United States, is like, whoo, poof. Wow, I am so far from everything, bro. Like, what the hell? Anyways, man, we're going to be checking out this video, so thank you for watching. And let's learn about the Australians, or let me learn about the Australians. And thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and share this video with your friends and family. And yeah, let's get right into this video. Why did I just peace? I don't know.
Hello and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're talking about Australians. What are they like? What should you expect when you move here? If you're interested, keep watching. Something that caught my attention when I first came to Australia 7 years ago is that people are very, very friendly. I never forget my first week here. I was walking down the street, completely lost, looking for the supermarket. And suddenly a very lovely Australian couple approached me and they asked me, "Are you lost? Do you want some help?" And they helped me to find the supermarket. And how amazing was that? I didn't ask for any help, but they just came and helped me. And this friendliness is also reflected in the fact that they love small talk. Believe it or not, Australians love to talk to strangers, and that's another thing that really caught my attention. When you're on the tram, for example, people just start talking to each other, or they make jokes. For example, if you're walking down the street, someone might yell, "Oh, nice t-shirt." It's so amazing. And I feel that this friendliness is also reflected on the fact that Australians call everyone mate. Cheers, mate. Cheers, buddy. How you going, mate? Good day, mate. And yeah, it makes you feel good.
Good day, mate.
So yeah, Australians are super friendly, super laid back.
That's
and
tight.
Of course, in relation to that, Australians are also very, very informal. I'll give you an example. They love walking barefoot, even around the city. I saw that in my first week in Australia. I was about to cross the street and suddenly I have a girl standing next to me wearing a beautiful dress, but she was barefoot. They're so laid back and so free. And of course, informality is also reflected in the Australian slang and the shortening of words. For example, I'll see you this sabo, which means I'll see you this afternoon. I'm going to have brekkie now. I'm going to have breakfast now. The dress code is also very informal. Everyone wears flip-flops or thongs everywhere. Australians are also very, very respectful. And I talked about...
That's crazy. Like, that's crazy. Like, I would never imagine Australians were like this, like, from the bottom of my heart. Like, I'm not the guy who assumes, you know, people are jerky or, you know, weird or, you know, anything like that. I'm not that guy, but, you know, I give people their opportunities to, you know, show me who they are. But like, this shit is crazy right now. It's like, nah, you nice, bro. You nice. You different.
About this in my video about Australian workplace culture. Australians are very respectful. They're always saying thank you, sorry, pardon, no worries, nice to meet you, please. In terms of respect, for example, it's considered super disrespectful if you go to a shop or to a restaurant and you complain about a product by yelling or swearing or insulting at the customer service representative or at retail staff. So yeah, this is a society that really values respect and politeness. Another thing that you should know about Australians is that they make appointments for absolutely everything, whether it is to go to the doctor or to see a friend. I know that in some cultures you can just drop by your friend's house and say, "Hey, do you want to hang out?" But not in Australia. Here usually you call your friends and you organize a time to see them during the week, but you don't pop up unannounced. And speaking of...
I ain't got a problem with it, you know, I ain't got a problem with it because the truth is you can be busy, you know, all y'all adults, kids, whatever it is, like, you can be busy, right? As a child, you can be busy. You can be playing, you know, games with your siblings or shit like that, and your homeboy from school pop up and you like, I can't hang right now. But you know, it's like, oh yeah, can we hang? Shit goes different. And now you a grown ass dude. You got your wife. You got your kids. You probably helping your kid with a homework, or your wife with something. I don't know. And yeah, and then somebody pop up. It's kind of, yeah. It does make sense if you actually just holler and it'd be like, yo, can we go hang? Whatever. Yeah, I do rock with that. Never thought of it like that, but yeah, I rock with it.
Making appointments, usually it's considered rude if you are late. So that's another thing. Australians really value punctuality and being on time.
Good.
Personal space and greetings. Australians really love their privacy and their personal space. So this means that if you're talking to someone, you do so by keeping a bit of distance. Or for example, if you're in line, you keep a bit of distance as well. Too much proximity sometimes can feel a bit uncomfortable. And this of course goes for greetings as well. When you meet someone for the first time, you don't kiss them on the cheek or you don't hug them. You usually say, hey, how you going? Or you shake their hands. If you know them and they're your friends, you can give them a hug, and that's usually the case, especially with women. Guys usually just shake hands, even if they know each other. Also, when you shake someone's hand and this is the first time you've met them, you usually say, nice to meet you too. Relationships, whether it is friendships or romantic relationships, usually take a bit of time to develop, and consent is something very important as well. You don't force anyone into an intimate relationship, and also bear in mind that both men and
Damn, imagine forcing somebody into an intimate relationship. That is crazy. That is crazy.
men are considered equals. Both people in the relationship have to be in agreement that they want to be with each other.
Of course. Craziest part about me is I don't know a lot of things, right? I don't know a lot of things. I may seem like I do, but I don't. If you catch me in IT, I might. You know what I mean? But I don't know a lot of things. And she's obviously speaking on something that Australians do. And if Australians do this, and she's speaking about it, it means that there is a possibility that other people don't. And that is sad. Flipping hell, bro. Well, hey, Australia, you're doing the right thing.
If you're invited to someone's house here in Australia, the expectation is that you're going to reply, whether it is accepting that invitation or declining. But it is considered rude if you leave them hanging, wondering whether you're going to be able to make it or not. So always RSVP, that is, reply to that invitation. If you're invited to someone's house or social gathering and they say bring your own, BYO, this means that they're expecting you to bring your own drinks. And this is the case for almost any social gathering here in Australia. Most people bring their own drinks because alcohol here is very expensive. Many times you'll also be asked to bring a plate, and that means to bring a dish of your liking to contribute to the table.
Nah, I'm not showing up. I ain't showing up. If I gotta bring my own shit, I ain't showing up. Like, dog, no. I'm not showing up to an event and gotta bring my own shit. Like, is this actually for real? You gotta bring your own shit at some events. Like, that's crazy. I can't imagine showing up to, like, you know, like a party, birthday party or something, and somebody's like, yo, you gotta bring your own cake, cuz. You're not getting my cake. That's crazy. But I know I'm probably taking it too extreme. Y'all can explain more in depth regarding this situation. Like, is it a thing that is like really common, or it's just a situation where it's like a friendship gathering or a party or something like that?
Everyone shares the food, so this is very, very common. In terms of the dish that you can bring, usually finger food such as sausage rolls or pies will be okay, or even meat for the barbecue or a pasta salad. Also, speaking of barbecues, it's very common in Australia to have a barbecue at the park to celebrate a birthday or an occasion with your friends, and you'll see that there are many public barbecues all along different parks, and that's something that really love about Australia. And remember that Australians call barbecues barbies.
Barbie.
Another very common social gathering in Australia is the housewarming party. And this got my attention because it's not something common in my culture. But basically a housewarming party is that when you move into a new house, you host a party with your friends and you show them your new house, you show them the bedrooms, the living room, you have some drinks, some finger food, just talk. It's another excuse to really meet with people and socialize. Oh, and if you're invited for dinner here in Australia, dinner usually starts at 6 or 7 p.m. And don't be late. Remember that Australians really love punctuality. And if you're going to be late, let them know. In terms of food, Australians really love Vegemite, Tim Tams, smashed avocado, Indian food, fish and chips, Thai food, and any Asian food. Really, every time that I talk to my Australian friends and I say, what would you say it's the national Australian dish? It's very hard for them to really pinpoint what's the typical Australian dish because Australia is so multicultural. You'll find amazing dishes from lots of different cultures. You'd be surprised to hear, maybe not, but in Australia, kangaroo as well is a typical dish. If you want
Ain't no way to eat that thing, boy, nah. If there's one thing I've always heard about Australia is the bloody kangaroo, dog. Like, I thought kangaroo was a special animal in freaking Australia, bruh. Like, special Australian animal. How the hell y'all gonna eat that? Yeah, kangaroos, man. Some of our Australian animals are very well known, like kangaroos. It's a very common thing over there. Y'all be eating the kangaroos? That's crazy.
And out, go to a restaurant. Usually restaurants close at 9:30, 10 p.m. and that's the latest. Which is really funny because I come from a Spanish culture and 10 p.m. is usually peak hour. Australians love their drinks, especially beer and wine. And they have a pretty strong drinking culture. And it seems that that's one of the main reasons as well why alcohol is so expensive here, because it's heavily taxed to discourage its consumption. Another drink that Australians love, especially here in Melbourne, is coffee. The coffee culture is huge and the coffee is so good. Australians love environmental conservation. They really look after their parks and nature and wildlife. They're very environmentally conscious. Here, recycling is very common. For takeaway coffee, Australians usually use reusable cups, especially at work. No littering of the streets. Parks, you always take a rubbish bag with you if you go camping, if you go hiking. There are very hefty fines if you litter. If you go camping, hiking, or you are in nature, the best way to behave is to follow the leave no trace principles. That is, don't disturb wildlife. If you find logs or dirt or flowers, just leave them in their place. Don't leave rubbish behind. Always take your rubbish bag with you. Playing music out loud at a campsite or at the beach is considered rude. But I'm going to make a video about the things that you shouldn't do here in Australia. So stay tuned. Another thing about conservation is that Australians are very conscious when it comes to saving water because there are many droughts around the country. So being mindful of the amount of water that you use when you take a shower. The rule is usually a 3-minute shower. Australia is a very multicultural nation and
Oh shit, my showers last about 20 minutes. Hot water, give it to me, baby, on my back, like that. Hey, I'm not even showering, I'm just, taking in all that water.
This means that they celebrate a lot of cultural festivities such as Chinese New Year, Diwali, and many others.
Really?
Christmas in Australia is a public holiday, and Australians usually celebrate Christmas by having lunch with their family on the 25th of December. They don't usually celebrate Christmas Eve. The 26th of December is a public holiday as well in Australia, and this is called Boxing Day. Traditionally, this day represents a day when the rich give money and donations to those in need. But nowadays, Boxing Day is a day when most retail stores have huge sales on different products. Australians also celebrate New Year's Eve on the 31st of December, and you'll see firework shows all over the country. Especially, of course, the Sydney one is the most popular one across the world. Fun fact, Did you know that Australians are not allowed to set off their own fireworks? This is actually illegal in Australia. So if you were expecting to buy your fireworks, I'm sorry to say, but you won't be able to do that. Australia Day, this is a public holiday that takes place on the 26th of January, which marks the day when British colonies arrived for the first time in the Australian continent. But this is a bit of a controversial date, and many people, especially the young ones, don't really celebrate Australia Day anymore. Because
yeah, I don't really get, why would you celebrate the day when Broski came into your property? I don't get that. Like, maybe it's a misconception. Because maybe it's not a celebration. Maybe it's a day of, you know, understanding that, hey, this is the day when, you know, we were invaded or shit like that. But I'd imagine you'd celebrate Independence Day.
this day also marks the day when Aboriginal or First Nations people were brutally colonized by the newly arrived British colonies. And there are more and more social movements that are calling for this day to be completely abolished or changed. So bear that in mind. Every time 26th of January comes in, there's going to be a lot of movement around the country. Something that you should know is that Australians don't usually debate about politics or religion. In many countries, including mine, debating about all these issues is very, very common, especially when you're in social gatherings or with your family over the table, you usually debate about these things. This is not the case in Australia. So if you're at work or just with your Australian friends, try to avoid these topics because it may make some people feel uncomfortable. If you want to find a topic to talk about in Australia, sports is your best bet, especially footy and cricket. If you don't know what footy is, this refers to the AFL or Australian football, and this is a sport unique to Australia. After 7 years of living here, I must be honest, I still don't get footy, but most of my Australian friends are crazy about footy. They go to the footy every weekend. They love it. I've been to 2 matches and I really love the atmosphere, and I think the beauty of this sport is that it's very family oriented, and because it's so family oriented, when you are there, there's no really aggression or violence, unlike other countries. People are cheering and they're mixing up with people from the other team and there's no aggression. So I highly recommend going at least to one footy match and experiencing the atmosphere and what it is like to be there. It's a very, very big part of the Australian culture. So this
Nah, I rocked with that, man. Shout out to Australia, man. This video was quite interesting because from the firecracker to the eating of the kangaroo dog to Australians actually socializing, but at the same time, like in personal space. It was a very good video. I appreciate her for, you know, giving me the talk about Australia. It was very good, very interesting, and I really appreciate it. But either ways, man, that's going to be it for now, man. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Any recommendations, leave them, man. Press that link and go, you know, recommend a video. I check it out for the Aussies. So thank you guys for watching this video. I'm out of here. Peace.